Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Screen Junkies Movie Fights, powered by the Popcorn Talk Network. Now your host, Andy Signore.
Hey, Screen Junkies, welcome to Movie Fights. We have another exciting round. First official look of Aquaman dropped. Zack Snyder's vision of Aquaman, and we're going to talk that over, so stay tuned. Best movie that never got nominated for an Oscar, best time travel movie, ultimate DC Marvel crossover. What would it be? So many fun fights today, so stay tuned. Obviously, as always, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't like a specific fight, just skip to the next one. Bottom right corner says pick your fight, and you'll go wherever you like to go. Before we start, I just want to thank our partners here at Popcorn Talk Network for housing us and all their support. Thanks so much. Check out all their great shows on youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. And obviously, if you're also watching on YouTube, please check us out on iTunes. We want your support there. Subscribe, comment, all that jazz. So, now that I got all that out of the way, let's meet our gladiators. As you know, we're here to fight some massive topics, and we've got some great fighters. First up, you know him as the host of the Screen Junkies show. It's Hal Rudnick.
What up? Representing 323, the 201, Screen Junkies in full effect, at Hal Rudnick. Hit me up.
Wow. You've seen her on DC All Access, and the schmoes know it's her first time here on Movie Fights. It's Tiffany Smith.
Yeah. I'm going to kick some serious ass today, or I'm going to try to, and then if I lose, I'll just smile. It'll be fine.
Love it. Welcome. Please fight hard. Finally, he's a movie fight veteran. You've seen him all over your TV. It's Mike Carlson.
Hello.
Hashtag Botanicus.
Hashtag Botanicus.
And checking us, it's the undefeated champion, Mr. Dan Merle. He's on our fact checker, hashtag DanCam. You're here to right any wrongs that are said and keep us on our toes.
I'm here to protect freedom and liberty and justice.
Uh-oh.
You're also here because that belt is something that everyone's pining after, right?
Yep.
That belt is pretty freaking cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Paris, who made that, our props on kudos. Now, that belt, I felt like it was a little too easy to get to last time, so we're changing up the format here a little bit. Just a little housekeeping so you know how it's going to work. In order to get to fight Dan in that belt, you're going to have to win 2 fights. And the way that's going to work is he's 6-0, right? So it's not fair to win a battle and take on the champion. So you got to earn a little bit more. So Dan, for the belt, you'll have to win to fight Dan for the belt. You have to win 2 fights, and our 2 next highest ranked fighters are exempt, and you're going to go on to take them on. So let me explain it a little bit easier. Can you pop the graphic on, JT? Nick Mundy and Spencer Gilbert just passed you, Mike Carlson, as the 2 highest performers on Movie Fights. So they get a bye week. They're passed on in the next round. This week is officially Monday Mania. Okay? So the winner
every week Monday Mania?
The winner of this battle will go on to compete against Nick in the semifinals.
So what you're saying is the noob has a chance to go on to the semifinals.
Yes.
Oh.
You all do.
So it's just one of us against Nick? Or
One
will
of
it be a
you,
third
and then
person?
next week, the winner of that, the 2 of you, will go on to fight Mr. Nick Mundy, as you can see on your screen in our little chart, for Monday Mania. The following next few weeks will be the Spencer Slam, and those 6 competitors, the 2 best, will go on to compete against Spencer.
Oh, man.
The 2 winners of those 2, the Monday Mania and the Spencer Slam, are going to tackle Mr. Merle, Dan, the Madman Merle. Don't call him Pouty or he gets shouty.
That's right.
I just think there should be a Carlson calamity in there somewhere.
You're getting close.
Okay,
you're getting close.
right.
Keep doing what you're doing, because you're third. You're 4th for the record.
Thank you.
So does everyone make sense on these new rules? I think that's fun. It ups the stakes. Lets us stretch it out a little bit more. It's going to be a big battle when you get to him, I hope.
Wait, how do we determine the third person? So let's say Tiffany wins this week.
Next week's show, the winner goes on to the 3rd slot house.
Perfecto.
It's still early.
Perfecto.
So it's still early. You got a shot.
My money's on Tiffany.
All right, now that we got all that away, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. It's going to be awesome. Let the Monday Mania begin.
Woo!
Boom.
He was supposed to be here, but he bailed.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay. He was just going to sit on the couch. That was kind of mean of him to come out just to sit on the couch. All right, in the great words of Ron Burgundy and a bunch of other people.
Now let's do this!
This is where we fight!
Fight! Fight! Fight! Fight!
Nice. Round 1. Big days here. The Academy Awards are happening today. We all know the winners soon. We'll all know them. But we have a couple questions. And Thiago Me on Twitter asked us, what's the best movie of 2014 that didn't receive any Oscar nominations? None. Not a song, not a technical, nothing. We're going to start with you, Hal. What was it?
Well, the best movie that didn't receive any Oscar nominations is Edge of Tomorrow. It was way lower profile than so many lesser films that got nominations. I mean, The Hobbit got so many nominations, but The Edge of Tomorrow, people thought it was like a soap opera because of its title. And they since have changed it to Live, Die, Repeat, and they should have named it after the graphic novel it was based on, All You Need Is Kill. So it was poorly marketed. It's a great film. Tom Cruise destroys it. He is a smarmy idiot to begin with. And then he shows some great physical comedy, having to wake up and being like, what the hell is going on throughout. And then he becomes an action hero. A great transitional performance. And Emily Blunt blows it out of the water, like staking her claim as an action star. And it's an awesome story. And plus, Hollywood needs to recognize an original story, something that is not part of a major franchise or a giant, well-known comic book star. This, it's kind of a black eye that, you can't make a unique story because people aren't immediately familiar with it because it's not part of a franchise.
It's true. It was a great film, badly marketed. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Tiffany, what's your thoughts?
So, well, first I just want to say great Tom Cruise impersonation.
Thanks.
So the film for me that didn't get nominated that I really enjoyed, that I think is completely underrated, was Fury. We've got David Ayer who directed it, and he just does such an incredible job with this movie. The cinematography of all of the different battle sequences, it makes you feel like you are a part of it. And for me, when it's any kind of war film, if I feel like I'm a part of that, if I feel for the characters in the film, then I'm just totally sold on it. And of course, you've got Brad Pitt, who's just killing it in everything he does lately. And then Shia LaBeouf. Anytime there's a comeback kid in a movie, I am super excited about it. And in this movie, I think he almost outshines all of the other characters in the film. But when I look at Best Picture too, I look at an ensemble cast. And this movie has a great ensemble cast. The fact that most of it takes place within the tank, and you've got Logan Lerman, who's the new guy who you feel for, you want him to be a part of the team. Then you've got Shia LaBeouf. Then you've got John Bernthal. You've got Michael Pena, and Brad Pitt. And then I feel like you just get the team. Even though there's some bad stuff that goes down, you still feel like, okay, I'm with these guys, and you realize that war is ugly. It is absolutely ugly, and that's the one takeaway from this movie, that war is ugly, but you have to do it, and you still feel for every single character in the movie.
Mike.
What was that?
Was that time?
Someone's phone, maybe? I don't know.
It was not my phone. Anyway.
Not mine.
Look.
I don't think it was mine.
The best film that was not nominated this year is Snowpiercer. This thing is cool. I just saw this a couple weeks ago. Holy crap. Tilda Swinton gives an incredibly strange but so compelling performance. There's the production design on this thing is amazing. It's about class warfare. It's about the 1% versus the 99%. This is all old Hollywood liberal bait. And for some reason, this thing didn't get nominated. It's got a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is higher than all these other movies. So the critics thought it was better as well, in addition to just me. I'm very smart, but the critics are smarter.
Here's the thing. What would you nominate Snowpiercer for? Edge of Tomorrow could have been nominated for visual effects, sound. There are so many categories it should have been recognized for. Here are some lesser movies that got nominated in categories Edge of Tomorrow should have been nominated for. Unbroken, The Hobbit. I mean, The Hobbit was
Hobbit! Come on! The Hobbit! Don't say it.
Oh, it was
Don't
junk.
say it.
It was
Do not
junk.
say it!
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We're going to start another fight here.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
can't
going to be
talk
on the
about
topic
The
that we're
Hobbit.
on.
Also, you talk about something that compels you. You are living and dying literally with Tom Cruise in that movie. It has to. You are walking a fine line. It's a delicate balance as a director and an editor to keep you surprised and riding with that character. Edge of Tomorrow, every time he died, it was you were like, damn it.
But
It's
you
like
talk
losing
about-
a video
Hold on,
game.
just to help signify this fight. I feel like you're riding with a character in all these films, so I get what you're saying, but I'd like to hear,
literally in
I'd like to
Fury.
hear why your films are better than the other two, if we can get to that.
Oh, yeah.
But you just said a lot. Let's let
Yeah.
Tiffany.
So for me, I think that Fury outshines both of these films because, first of all, your argument is that Snowpiercer is cool. Drop the mic. I mean,
Yeah,
let's
thank
just
you.
say
I know.
that
It was
that
a good-
that
it was a
that
good
doesn't
argument on
earn
my
you
part.
the Oscar.
It
It
does,
definitely does not. And I think that this film, you still get the action in it that you get in Snowpiercer. The same thing with Edge of Tomorrow. It could have been nominated for cinematography for Fury. I think it has way better visuals than what you see in Edge of Tomorrow.
Snowpiercer doesn't have as much action as you remember.
Well, there's some video game sequences which are cool.
Action.
Yeah,
Which are
absolutely.
cool.
There's a lot of action in it. And look, this movie is my movie, Snowpiercer. I didn't make it. It's just the one I'm arguing for.
I'll take credit for it.
But I'll take a little credit for it. This movie is the most creative of all these movies. This is a solid war film. This is a movie that is well made, but when you're saying original ideas, it is pretty much Groundhog Day with some action in it, like action scenes in it. So when I'm saying this, I've never seen this weird movie on a train before, is what I'm saying. These movies, I've seen versions of these. These are good. This is the most original concept.
You've never seen people in a dystopian future rising up against someone who's keeping them down? The Hunger Games, any other YA novel you want. It actually is a little bit influenced, and we've seen that story before many times.
And I have to say, on both sides, I enjoyed both of these films, being a comic book reader and fan. They're both great graphic novels, but I don't think that in this case they stand above this historical piece of film. I think that watching this, I feel for the military that we have, and for me, that's Oscar worthy.
That's an interesting card to play, but we, American Sniper is already nominated. And
let me ask, sorry not to interrupt, but let me ask a question. Which of these films do we really think, and tell me why, will stand the test of time over the other ones?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Fury.
Why?
Mine.
And your closing arguments, I'd love a little pitch of why is this movie, because we're talking about what's the best movie of the year that didn't get, it should be a movie I would think that's leaving an impact that we're going to remember in 5-10 years. Why was your film that film over the others?
Edge of Tomorrow was the most exciting and shocking movie compared to these other two. You didn't. It was unexpected. It came out of nowhere, and Tom Cruise's performance is amazing. And the editing, the visual effects that come together to have you going along for this ride and literally punching you in the gut every time the characters are set back to square one is amazing. It's quite a feat.
And follow up, what Oscar are you actually saying it should have been up for?
It could have been up for sound design, visual effects.
So technical stuff.
Oh, absolutely technical stuff. And if they're going to say either of those movies deserves a Best Picture Oscar, they're really reaching.
Tiffany, final thoughts?
For me, I think this film stands the test of time because it's a historical piece of film. I enjoy getting to go back and see time periods that I was not a part of, that I didn't get to experience firsthand and see someone else's take on it. And this film specifically, because you get the grand scape of war, but you also get this tiny story within it. And for me, that's a hard balance to strike, and they do a really good job in this movie. I think that David Ayer should have gotten nominated. I think that they could have done cinematography. They could have done sound design for this one.
Mike?
Just speaking about creativity and things that I will remember, like I'm going to remember the production design, the sets. I'm going to remember these performances more than these other two movies. These things pop in my mind more. For whatever reason, they're more colorful, and it's something I'm going to remember. Like, this is a genre movie. I understand the Oscars doesn't always do that, but this thing was under-marketed as well. There was not a budget for pushing this thing to Oscar voters, and I think that if they had just put some money in it, people would have gone, oh, this is like District 9, this is like something else. We can have this in production design. Tilda Swinton can get nominated for Best Supporting Actress. It deserved some award, or some nominations.
But I think all of these were under-marketed.
Well, that's probably true.
All right, I got to declare a winner, and that one's tough because you all actually made some good arguments. I think what I struggle with you is you're just saying this technical stuff, because I agree, I like that film a lot, but the stuff that's up for technical stuff are really good movies. What I think where you both got me more stuff, but I think we've seen Fury a lot, which you guys have said, whereas Snowpiercer, like the production design, things like that, and something different. I agree. Why all the things you said are Snowpiercer gets the win.
Thank you.
Near the end, it just finally took me there. You did it, Mike. You're on the board. Good fight. Dan, thoughts, questions?
Yeah, just a couple of things. First of all, The Hobbit actually only has one Oscar nomination this year for sound editing. The other ones were nominated more.
And it's a pity vote.
It's true. Mike, you're right. Edge of Tomorrow had 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Fury had 77%, so Snowpiercer was the highest rated. And Hal, if it's any consolation, Edge of Tomorrow is up for 3 Teen Choice Awards. So
good. And we all feel good.
Which ones?
I think it's all for Tom Cruise. So the movie could be taken
Tom
home.
Is still attracting the teens.
And then the movie, I think, for like best action movie.
I wonder how much they paid for that.
That honestly was a hard round because I really enjoyed both of those movies.
They could all be taken home a surfboard.
They were all good. I'm going with a different choice. Mike, you get it for once. You always go different, and sometimes I don't reward you, but today you got it.
Thank you for the reward.
Round 2. Speaking of movies that were robbed by the Oscars, we also wondered what film was never nominated for Best Picture that should have been. So many films over the years. We all have them. And Tiffany, you're starting up with us.
Okay, so I am going to go back to 1960, an Alfred Hitchcock classic masterpiece, Psycho. Was not nominated for Best Picture. This film changed the game for horror films. This was the first time that you saw horror done in this way. And every other horror film that's come after it, you always see moments, you always see nods back to Psycho. The fact that there are two big twists in this one. When you look at Scream, the fact that the antagonist gets killed off, or sorry guys, I'm totally going to spoil this movie.
Alert, yeah.
Spoiler alert. That the antagonist gets killed off early. That was the first time we'd ever seen that. We thought this film was going to be about Janet, and it's not. And then getting that where it's the end of it and they go into why he actually did this. We hadn't seen anything where the reasoning behind being a psycho killer is the fact that you are mentally unstable. And the big twist, the fact that it's him the entire time. And then you look at how this was actually shot. The shower sequence. That is one of the most memorable sequences of all time. Then you go to the score because of that. That scene in the shower, the quick cuts to everything where, you know, that was the most kind of gruesome thing we'd ever seen on film to that point. And you don't see a lot. And I still say that I think it's one of the most terrifying films that still stands up to date.
Great first battle. You guys are up against a tough one there, obviously. Mike.
Well, I have a very good contender. It is Groundhog Day.
Fitting from Edge of Tomorrow.
I know. I said Groundhog. I had to say it.
You set that up. Yeah,
that's true.
I
seeded it. I'm very smart. Yes.
Go ahead.
Groundhog Day. Okay. At the time, I think everyone thought, "Oh, this is a very a clever comedy." But after it's been over 20 years. I think this thing still is resonating with us more than we ever expected it to. It's not just this quirky comedy. It's shown itself to be so much more. It's almost taken its place in my mind in the same you just kind of take movies for granted, It's a Wonderful Life or these other it's part of that. It's just it's almost like a traditional movie that I like to watch once a year now. And at the time, when you look at the other things, now Schindler's List won that year. I'm not saying it should have beat Schindler's List or anything, but when you look at the other movies in the category, it makes it that much more of a snub. The Fugitive, The Piano, In the Name of the Father. I mean, these are movies that are good, but we're not talking about these anymore. The only thing I knew about The Piano was that Harvey Keitel has full frontal nudity in it.
I do remember that.
And that's the only thing that's resonated with.
Did you say we're not talking about Schindler's List anymore?
What? No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I said, I said these other movies.
Yeah.
Well, again, nominated. He's not saying
I was saying
nominated.
I said it didn't
He did have 5 movies nominated.
I'm just saying that we're not talking about
Schindler's
these
List
three.
aside.
Yeah.
There's still 4 other slots.
I was putting Schindler's List in a box and saying let's not talk about it because Anyway, so my point is that when you look at that lineup, you're well, of course, Groundhog Day deserved to be nominated with those films.
Of course. Hey, Hal.
Of course. No.
The best movie to never be nominated is Do the Right Thing. It was a shocking film at the time, and it resonates even more today. And the film is a masterpiece and so effective on so many levels because it was an amazing early work for an independent director. Spike Lee just really said, whoa, I'm here, and his style and his visuals and his storytelling were revolutionary in many respects. It was a beautiful small story about a neighborhood and the people who live in this neighborhood. We get Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, just some amazing Hollywood actors being able to create this community. And then it was a shocking civil rights movie that's one of the most honest movies we've ever seen about race relations. And man, talk about something that resonates to today, when Radio Raheem is choked to death by the police. That is just something that is resonant in this climate that we live in right now.
Great. So why does that suck, guys?
Well, ending on that note, yeah. Great
for real,
segue. Great segue.
Those are 3 strong fights. Tell me why yours is better.
From my perspective, when you look at a film like Psycho, the fact that it has impacted filmmaking for such a long time after this, and the fact that you can have 3 major twists within a movie where, you start out, you think it's going to be a crime drama. It's not a crime drama. Then it turns into a murder mystery that happens really early. Then the twist of, no, it's Norman the whole time. So I think having all of that in a movie is just a feat in itself. Yes, I think that's a great piece of film, absolutely, but I don't know
Agreed.
that it has had the same impact for as much of time, where you can look at other movies and
Psycho
people would
is
say,
older.
but people would say, yeah, I watched Psycho and I wanted to make a horror film like this. I think everyone's always striving after making the next Psycho when they're doing horror film and suspense.
Well, to that point, one of the most socially conscious films of all time. It introduced the anthem of Fight the Power from Public Enemy. That was on the soundtrack, and it opened the film. Just talk about a film that inspires people and gets people moving and thinking about social issues. I would say it did its job more than anything. It was such an incendiary film at the time. So much so that that's probably why it wasn't nominated. You know what the best picture was the year that Do the Right Thing came out? It was Driving Miss Daisy, a film that subjugated people. Imagine the controversy if Driving Miss Daisy was nominated with Do the Right Thing for Best Picture. The Oscars didn't want that firestorm. And since I'm talking, I'll just take my turn now. Everyone
Do we know what
finish.
Psycho beat? And we know what Groundhog Day. What did Psycho beat? What beat Psycho?
Did not beat.
In 1960?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Okay.
If you want to know what these were nominated for, I can tell you that.
Were they nominated for Oscars at all? Just not Best Picture?
Psycho had 4.
Okay.
Groundhog Day had none. And Do the Right Thing had 2.
But
Yeah.
neither
And here's
were
the
Best
thing.
Picture.
None of them
Here's
were
the
Best
thing
Picture.
for me.
So,
with
What was the
that.
highest they were each gotten? Did Psycho or Do the Right Thing? Were those technical or writing?
Do the Right Thing was nominated for supporting actor and screenplay.
That's right.
Groundhog
Okay.
Day was nominated for nothing, but it won the BAFTA for Best Screenplay. And Psycho was
talking
nominated
BAFTAs.
for supporting actress, director, cinematography, and art direction.
Here's the thing.
I'll also say that Do the Right Thing was picked by Siskel and Ebert as the best film of 1989, and it wasn't nominated, but it was nominated for 25 years later for its 25th anniversary by the Academy, and it's on the AFI Top 100.
But
for
you talk
what
about
that's
those
worth.
nominations, and you see that we talked about this a little in the last category. Genre films are usually left out of the Oscars, and people don't talk about them. Horror films fall into that category. So this film, I think, that was the Academy being like, well, we can't really nominate them for Best Picture, so we'll do these other things. So it was like, we'll give them something, but it really should have been nominated for Best Picture.
I'll see your Psycho and raise you a Silence of the Lambs when it's done to the at the highest level. But when it's done at the highest level, they will nominate it and reward it.
But only because Psycho opened the door for that.
Psycho, yeah, I'm not going to say Psycho's terrible, but
Excuse me. Here's the thing. Do the Right. Obviously, that's a great.
Whoa.
I'm very upset.
Really?
Obviously, that's a great film. Here's why I think it's crazier that Groundhog Day didn't get nominated. Because the Academy is behind the times. It makes total sense that they're going to miss a first-time director doing a really awesome movie.
it wasn't his first film.
Oh,
She
well,
got to have it.
Oh, well, one of the first ones.
So
But
serious.
still, continue.
Anyway, my point is that's a movie that you would think a bunch of unhip 60-year-olds would miss completely. That's really my point. Because they don't get what the cultural relevance of it. They don't understand it. I'm saying it's crazier they didn't get Groundhog Day because it's everything that's right under their nose. It's like a feel-good movie. It's starring people that are
It's too much of a comedy. Nothing that hinges that much in the comedy genre is going to get nominated.
fact that
What you're saying, Groundhog Day stands less of a chance. A culturally relevant film. What won last year, Mike? 12 Years a Slave. So yeah.
That's a good point, but now I'm obviously catching up.
It was a good point. And actually, I think they put you. Psycho was close, but I think all those other awards it got a lot of recognition, which all these points. And I think you make a point. You made the strongest argument of even bringing that up of Driving Miss Daisy beat it, which is really tough for me. I can hear what beat Psycho just to make sure I'm not.
The winner in 1960 was The Apartment, which is actually another pretty
Great
well-regarded
film.
film.
Jack
The
Lemmon,
other
yeah.
nominees were Elmer Gantry, Sons and Lovers, The Alamo, and The Sundowners. Not exactly cinematic classics.
Yeah.
And what was the year with Driving Miss Daisy again? Besides Driving Miss Daisy, it was
Besides Driving Miss Daisy, hang on, let me check.
90.
Sorry.
That was 89.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was the Academy Awards that took place in 1990. Let's see, 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now. Driving Miss Daisy. The other nominees were Born on the 4th of July, Dead Poets Society, Field of Dreams, and My Left Foot.
Oh.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
Which means it was a tougher season for
Yeah.
that movie. Psycho should have been nominated because I don't know a lot of those movies. And there's the one sequence which always stands out to me where he's putting the car in the lake and it gets stuck for a second. You're like, oh my God, is it going to sink? And then it does sink. And then at the end, they call back to it where they're pulling the car back out. And you're like, holy crap, this whole story's going to get unleashed.
I mean, for example, like Elmer Gantry, I think Burt Lancaster's in that.
We're not going through all the list. Psycho wins.
Yes! Yes!
You're fighting for Elmer Gantry? Come on.
But I was going to say, 40 years from now, who's going to remember my
One
left
to
foot?
one.
Well, there were several. I think we will remember Dead Poets Society, Born on the 4th of July. We could go all day, but I think that category had tougher competition than Psycho did. So Psycho gets the point. Moving to round 3. Those were really tough. I was grasping at straws.
That was rough.
We took it. All right, round 3, our title bout here. You came here probably because of the thumbnail, and now we're actually going to talk about it. Big DC reveal was upon us as we wait for the official Batman v Superman trailer. Zack Snyder finally tweeted out the first official image of Jason Momoa's... Is it Momoa? Sorry, Momoa's Aquaman. And reaction has been mixed. I'll read some stuff on our own Twitter just so we can set the mood. Rebel Ringbearer said, Snyder's Aquaman looks like homeless King Triton from Little Mermaid. Lacks regal Aragon Odin vibes. Makeda Cox says... I think it's awesome. Underwater Khal Drogo. Charles Buca says, looks like a hobo beach bum with a broken metal detector.
That was going to be my argument.
So, good job out there, guys. But for real, what do we think? Jamie in Skyrim asked us, on a scale of 1 to awful, how awful is the suit? But let's keep it positive. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do we think of this new Aquaman design? And did it make us excited for the movie? And we're going to start with you, Mike.
It's like a 3, it's 4. I mean, it's like fine. It's exactly what I expected. It's so masculine. Aquaman is such a tough guy, you guys. Oh man, he should just have like a Bud Light Platinum and like a poster of like Pam Anderson and Kathy Ireland behind him. Oh, so masculine. Here's what I'm getting at by saying all that. Is everyone is so insecure about Aquaman. Everybody, there's a bunch of pictures of this guy riding on a giant seahorse, and everybody's freaked out that people don't think he's like a tough guy. So they go the other way, they cast like the hunkiest dude, and they make him just look like a guy, and they borrow this from Nick Mundy, a guy from 300. Like he's sort of just a tough, we know he's going to be a tough, underwater Game of Thrones character, and it's, look, I want a different Aquaman. I want Aquaman from The Brave and the Bold, okay?
I think we have an image.
Do we have an image of it? Where is it?
It's up there.
It's up there. Anyway, my point is, it's fine. It's sort of what I expected. We're going to get a very hardened, tough guy, like aggro version of Aquaman, and it's whatever. That's my feeling.
Okay, not great thoughts from Mike. Hal, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's fine, but it's not exactly Aquaman. It's like underwater Mad Max. I mean, you take, first of all, it's way too similar to his his Conan outfit. Look at the armor, the one-armed armor. And he looks a lot more like Kevin Costner in Waterworld than Aquaman. And I feel like it's not true to the character. Would you give us a Batman without the cape? Would you give us Superman without the S on his chest? I want to see some damn orange and green in my stupid Aquaman.
Hell yeah,
stupid Aquaman.
Yeah, and I'll go a step further. I think Aquaman should ride that seahorse right out of the closet. You know?
Hell yeah!
You know what? Make him the first major gay superhero.
There are other gay superheroes.
In a DC Marvel
universe
movie.
There's one on The Flash on the TV show now.
In the movies.
He keeps changing what he said.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, that's what I meant in the movies.
First of all, I just have to say, a lot of the attacks of how he looks, I'm like, why is saying he looks like Khal Drogo a bad thing? Why is saying he looks like Kevin Costner in Waterworld a bad thing? I think they look badass. I think Khal Drogo was badass. When you look at the photos of the Justice League we've gotten so far, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, this character fits in perfectly. If we got that yellow and orange, green Aquaman, it wouldn't fit with the Zack Snyder world. And I would rather have it fit within the world than have it be, oh, he looks just like he does in the comics. And here's some stuff that Aquaman has done to prove that he is badass. He was the originator of the Sharknado. He made a tornado with sharks in it.
You're saying he's badass because he introduced the cheesiest...
Listen, he defeats Darkseid with a shark tornado, okay? That's pretty cool. Then in the New 52 that Jeff Johns did, which is why everyone's gotten reinvigorated about Aquaman, he's bulletproof. He has telepathic powers. He can take a beating when he's trying to save his family.
I thought we were talking about the outfit.
I'm just saying they have to make him look badass because he can do all these things. And people are like, Aquaman's not badass. He is. That's why he looks that way.
And, I will say I'm not surprised that you love it because DC pays your bills.
Hey,
I experienced the same thing with Mark Andreyko.
No. Because here's the thing. I do comic book reviews. I won't review stuff I don't enjoy, whether it's DC or Marvel or Image or whatever. So if I didn't like this, I wouldn't have taken this stance. I would have been like, I'm not going to talk about it. But I literally tweeted it 3 minutes after Zack Snyder did
listen, I feel you. I'm not going to go on my show and shit talk honest trailers.
I literally would have emailed and said, guys, let's not do that topic.
Let's not be mean and say she's lying. I believe her. She's fighting a good fight.
Look, my point is that, I'm not saying I don't love Aquaman. I love Aquaman. That is why I'm a little bit disappointed. Yes, he is awesome. He does some crazy things. And this is sort of taking out that fun. This is just turning him sort of into a generic tough guy. That's what I'm trying to say. I want some of the things that make him special.
But I don't think you're, this is ridiculous that I watch these shows that he was on, but Jason Momoa was on this show a long time ago that was he ran this hotel and he was a bartender and he was really cute. No.
He was on Baywatch.
It was a different one. It was set in Hawaii or something. And
Baywatch
he has
Nights?
this no
Baywatch Hawaiian Nights.
But he has this funny side to him, and if you've ever seen him interviewed, he has that side to him. You don't get to see it much as Khal Drogo. But I think you are going to get that balance. And if you read the New 52 stuff that Jeff Johns did with him, there are moments of that humor where it's he gets pissed off that people are always making fun that he talks to fish.
Well,
we're talking
about the costume, and it doesn't feel like Aquaman. It feels like underwater Mad Max.
Well, it's twofold. Do we like the costume? Does it get us excited for the movie? I think she's hitting both of those, and I want to hear you guys why does he not that outfit? Why did it not make you more excited for seeing him in this universe?
Because it's exactly what I thought it would be. It doesn't look like it's...
Why is that a bad thing?
Because it's not embracing any of the funness of Aquaman. Aquaman is fun. He rides on sea life. There's something silly about him, and when it's not embraced, it bothers me because we're really trying to do what if Aquaman was real? What would he look like? Well, he's not real. We just need to let's go for the fun, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does feel like more of a generic superhero costume. It's not the Aquaman.
How many other superheroes walk around with a trident?
Does Namor have a trident?
I'm talking about just the armor, and he looks like he's going to Burning Man. He's covered in tattoos, and he's got this chainmail thing.
I love that. I think that's again, if you're going with the fact that he is the king of Atlantis and he's bulletproof, why would he not have cool tattoos? If you're going with the Polynesian Hawaiian kind of vibe, which I think is more realistic.
This is important. So I understand the world you want him in. I get it. I'm a little still unclear what world you guys want him in. He's gonna be in the Zack Snyder world. So tell me the dream scenario of your Aquaman, Hal and Mike, of how does the tough king of Atlantis not fit into a underworld Atlantis city? I imagine we're gonna learn and more about in these movies. How does your vision work?
My vision of, first of all,
how should it have been?
The first image is him on a whale or something. We see him on a fish of some kind. He doesn't have to have all the tattoos. He has a costume that's a little bit more closer to the comics. I understand he can't just be bright orange because it wouldn't fit with the universe. But if you just showed me we're comfortable with what he's been for 60 plus years, however long he's been around, you can check that for
You
me.
haven't seen his pants also, let's say that.
If his pants are bright green, I will apologize later. I will apologize.
I'll tell you exactly. Are you finished?
Sorry.
I'll tell you exactly why it's a mistake. One of the fatal flaws of Man of Steel was that it was too dour and sour a tone. One of the brightest characters in the universe, they're making him look like just a monster. It's Zack Snyder sucking all the hope and the fun out of the movie again, and it could be the fatal flaw for this Aquaman character.
Sorry.
It's too dark, too deep.
Right, and I just think that Jeff Johns thing, and the Jeff Johns in the comics is he's very insecure. He's people making fun of him, and that's what I'm saying when I say everyone is insecure about this character. And this, with the tattoos, he's like a kid in high school who got picked on, and now he's tatted himself up. He's really ripped. He's going to show all of you. I just think that it shows me that these people are still not completely comfortable embracing this character. That's what I think.
And Aquaman is not the Dark Knight.
Tiffany, what your response?
I think if you look at the Avengers posters that came out that we saw the solo characters last summer at Comic-Con. They're very dark. It is going to Age of Ultron is going to be darker. But there's still going to be those moments of lightness and humor. So I don't know why, because you're seeing one photo, you're like, the whole movie is going to be dark. They're not going to give any of the humor.
I can tell you the track record. We have Robert Downey Jr. We have them. One film. Check the Marvel Universe. A lot more than one film. I'm saying
for DC, there is no track record yet, so they could do new things.
And all the joy was sucked out of it. There was one joke where that woman from the army said that Superman's hot, and it was terrible. There is no joy. There is no joy in Mudville because Superman has struck out, and Aquaman.
This is tough because I think, Tiffany, you made a really strong debate, because I think it's true. We have no idea how he's going to do. Just because he looks like a badass doesn't mean he's not going to be funny or in a weird Thor way of not knowing the culture. There's ways you could probably spin it still where that could work. But you had me at the beginning with that. My masculine intro was just too on the nose of the insecurity, I feel like, of DC of having to go so far into this. He's not gay. He's not like all these things that I feel like people call Aquaman all the time. Like, they just amped it up so hard that it just feels like, just based on the visual, that's what we got to go off of here until we see some footage. But your picture of him in the beginning with the Bud Light and everything and the Pamela Anderson poster won me over. That was a great argument. Mike Carlson's on the board.
Travesty.
If you had started with that, maybe you would have. But he went first. Just the order of things.
Mike was already on the board.
Oh, sorry, you're on the board with two.
Yeah.
Tiffany's got one. Hal, you're going to get this. Hopefully.
I was robbed on that.
Just a little cleanup on that one. Aquaman was introduced in 1941, so he's been around for about 74 years.
Okay.
Yes, Namor does have a trident sometimes. Jason Momoa, the TV show, was North Shore, where he's running the hotel in Hawaii.
Not Baywatch Night.
He's funny and light.
He was also on Baywatch.
Yeah, he was.
And I can't independently confirm that Aquaman created the Sharknado, but Tiffany is much more knowledgeable in all things DC, so I can't confirm it. But
tell us in the comments if she's wrong. I'm sure someone will. But I believe you. All right, round 4. Speaking of DC, we're going to keep it going. There's been a lot of comic book movies news lately. Obviously, Spidey just joined Avengers. A lot of team-ups are happening. We want to go to the dream scenario. If we could team up one DC and Marvel crossover, what would it be? This is asked by Justin Morgan on Twitter. Crossover movie between DC and Marvel, who should be the main characters? And we're going to start with Hal.
I want to see something compelling that I haven't seen before, something that excites me. I thought a lot about this, and the combo that excites me would be the Punisher versus the Joker. I mean, wow, all bets are off. No rules, just right. It would feel almost like it would be as tasty as Outback Steakhouse, whose slogan is "No rules, just right." And it would feel almost like a John Woo movie. It would be, there'd be so many. There would be a body count like never before. It would be dark and crazy, and these two guys who are basically sociopaths, who are a little bit cracked, both of them, going head to head. Someone's gonna die. One of those characters is gonna die. The Punisher in Marvel Civil War, Captain America tried to bring in some supervillains who, for the cause, Punisher killed them on sight. He takes no prisoners, and the Joker is a chaotic madman. Man, what a battle that would be.
Tiffany, what's your call?
Well, one correction. It was a shark tsunami.
Oh, that's why I had trouble. It was a shark tsunami.
Okay, so my crossover, I think when you're talking about all these movies, it comes down to a lot of times what's going to bring in the most money. And for me, looking at the two characters that would bring in the biggest dollars, Batman and Wolverine. Those two characters, to me, have always been my favorite characters on both sides of the coin. They're the anti-hero. We've seen them. We've gotten to know those characters really well. I think that you could start the film off much in the way of Kingdom Come, where these characters have gotten older. You know, they've kind of gone off to the side and the new heroes have taken over because we've got the whole Marvel world going on, the DC world. These two characters are off on the side. All those people kind of get like caught up in things, so they have to bring the old guard back in. So the two of them come back in, old, weathered. We've got Hugh Jackman and Ben Affleck, which I think seeing the two of them on the screen together and the way we're seeing Batman now would be epic. There was this crossover in the comics done called Dark Claw, which was the Batman Wolverine crossover. And so for me, The villain would be the hyena, which is the crossover of Sabretooth and the Joker. We've already been introduced to the Weapon X program, which is how this villain's created. And I think you talked about the Joker being such a great villain. This character, I think, because it's a crossover, we can play a lot more. We haven't seen it as much. It isn't part of the official kind of backstory in the history of comics. So having a new villain that you can really create, and they have that crazy side, the super powerful will kill anything in its way side as well. I would definitely buy multiple tickets for myself to see that movie.
2 good movies. Mike, what's yours?
Okay, so if I'm writing the DC Marvel movie, it's probably like 2 or 3 trilogies worth of movies because it's going to be a lot. People want to see a lot of different characters, a lot of different crossover. So I would make the stars of the movie people that are very accessible personalities. I'm talking about Spider-Man and Nightwing. These are 2 people that character like relatability. These are, Spider-Man is everyman. He could be any of us. Nightwing was just a circus boy trained by Batman. Okay, so these are the 2 characters that are going to be your conduit into the world, into whatever sort of crazy thing is going to come. Because we're going to have a bunch of superheroes, a bunch of villains crossing over, fighting. It's going to be confusing, and you want these 2 characters sort of leading you through all of it. Now, I have written the first page to this movie, and if we would indulge me for a brief second.
Wow.
Hal, I would like you to play J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay.
I do like that you came with props.
Tiffany play Spider-Man, and Andy play Nightwing. And I'll read stage direction.
Who's doing? Am I Peter as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Interior, Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson smokes a comically giant cigar.
Parker, where are my pictures of the mayor's new wife?
Peter Parker hurries inside.
I told you, Mr. Jameson, I haven't had a chance to get them because my Aunt May has been sick. She has McGregor syndrome.
No excuse, Parker! I ought to fire you!
Suddenly, Parker's spider sense flares. Parker pushes Jonah out of the way as a bullet whizzes by.
What the hell was that?
Exterior, New York City. Peter, now dressed as Spider-Man, sees Deadshot, a scary guy with a sniper rifle. They have a cool fight. Spider-Man gets the upper hand.
New in town, huh, pal? Well, you better get used to my quips, cuz...
Suddenly, Spider-Man is Liu Kang style kicked in the throat by Nightwing.
Speaking of new in town,
Nightwing and Spider-Man have a cool fight while Deadshot just watches.
Whoa, we're on the same side.
yeah, I think so. Friends?
Spider-Man nods and they bro hug while Deadshot watches.
This is awful.
Yeah. So, Mike,
amazing.
I gotta say, as cute as that was.
Thank you.
Marvel DC, written by Michael R. Carl.
You get an A for effort.
You talk about
If either studio wants to reach us through, yes, please. Mike's available to write the whole
Please, yes, please.
You talk about there being so many movies in the offing, and this being the catalyst. Those movies are not going to get made if the first one fails miserably, and that was what you put in front of us.
Also, I
good
don't
sir.
even think that Nightwing is one of the more notable. It would be Robin.
And
Nightwing comes
from a DC aficionado.
That's
Boom,
Dick Grayson, one of the most popular
But
DC
I don't
characters.
I think within the comic book world, but if you're talking about mainstream and you're like characters that people have gone to the movies to see, more people know Robin.
We can be Robin. That's fine. It's a quick change.
Mike, you got DC slammed. And Tiffany, I got to tell you,
You wanna
those
see my
team
movie.
I would see all of these movies, okay?
wouldn't see
Because
this
I'm
one.
a fan of the genre.
Would you see that movie?
I would see
Not
all
from that
movies
script.
for my job so I can host the show
But would you see it for your pleasure?
No. So, Tiffany, I have to say, we've seen so many superhero team-ups and handshakes. What about we see the 2 compelling characters going at each other's throats and one of them has to be eliminated? That's surprising and shocking in a way that, that movie is not going to be.
But I think there's something to be said where if you've read Old Man Logan or, people always talk about The Dark Knight, you want to see those older versions. You want to see what happens to a ravaged superhero. And I like the fact that from Batman's standpoint, he doesn't have any powers. He doesn't have anything. Even though Logan has the adamantium, the claws and everything, he's still a human guy. He still didn't didn't come from some other planet. So I feel like there's a relatability there between the 2 of them.
Plus, I got to ding you. Sight unseen, you're going Affleck. If this is a dream scenario, let's get Bale and Jackman.
But because I'm saying what we're getting now, I don't want to backtrack. If I'm doing this, I'm doing it in a realistic world of the movies that we've seen. And I mean, if we'd seen the Aquaman thing earlier, I would have said Aquaman and Namor, but...
Oh, so she doesn't even like hers.
No, I do. It's just more timely. That's all. I love mine.
Let me first address Hal, you're describing a 16-year-old Hot Topic fan's like wet dream of a movie.
What kids, comic book fans do in the playground.
Punisher and the Joker shot at each other for 2 hours, man. Oh, it's so dark. It's gonna be gritty, and they're gonna kill. People are gonna die. The Punisher. Like, has the Punisher ever been in anything that was good?
One of the most successful comic book franchises of all time.
Check that. I don't even know if we can check it.
He did a really good short film. Dirty Laundry.
His logo makes a great cameo in American Sniper.
and Batman and Wolverine, like, these are two characters. These are two characters that are like the loner characters. So we're just gonna get two guys kind of just going like, hey.
Not true.
Hey, it's like putting you need one grizzled old veteran and you need a young guy. It's a formula to this.
No, because if you there's so much you can do with having the older characters come back and have to show the new guys what it was really like to be a true hero. And sometimes that means sacrificing things like your family, your body, whatever it is, but they're still going to be the anti-hero. They're still going to win in the end.
I think so here's the problem. I think both of these movies will agree would be fun to see. We're struggling with yours, Mike, sadly.
I almost think
here's how I'm going to do it. Hal, yours is off the table. Which of these two movies are you watching? Honestly.
The Joker is kind of in mine, too.
Which of these movies are you watching, honestly?
I have more to say about my movie.
Well...
Come on, Hal, pick.
Let's be honest.
Come on, Hal, pick.
He said his was going to open like this world of all these franchises.
No, we're talking about single movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd go Batman, Wolverine.
Okay. Tiffany, out of these two movies, which one would you watch? Hal's. Mike, you're the tiebreaker, man. So which of these two movies, yours excluded, which would you watch?
Wait, can I say one more thing?
No.
Dang it.
I mean, I can lie, right?
No, please answer honestly.
Oh, man, I wanted to lie. This one.
That one.
Yes.
I think that's what most people are going to say. I think that's why Tiffany gets the point.
We didn't even get to the part in my movie where Howard the Duck fights Captain Carrot.
Dan.
Can I just say, I was researching all of these matchups to see, if they'd ever met and stuff. For some reason, I kind of get why. Spider-Man Nightwing and only Spider-Man Nightwing has a shocking amount of erotic / fiction.
Well, wait, can we just talk about the fact of when
was it written by E.L. James?
It's incredible. It pops up immediately when you Google Spider-Man Nightwing.
I think he got it when he was reading it.
That was the subtext.
Round 5. All right, we've all seen Neill Blomkamp's Blomkamp. Sorry, Mr. Blomkamp. Blomkamp. Is that? Yeah. Sorry, Miss Neill. I apologize. I'm a big fan of your work. We've seen his. He's District 9, obviously leads him. We've seen his Alien concept art, upcoming Chappie. He tweeted out that officially, it sounds like that he's now his next film is going to be an Alien movie. Due to that, apparently that's how you make movies now. Just tweet out some cool images, and the studio's like, "Oh, you want to do a movie? Okay." So Samurai Knight 07 asks, which actress should join the new Alien movie to be directed by Neill Blomkamp? And we're going to start with you. Blomkamp. It's spelled wrong on my sheet. Tiffany, who would you pick? Okay,
so for me, Neill Blomkamp directing this movie is absolutely exciting, awesome, perfect fit. Well, who I think would be a great fit, I see you nodding in there, don't even do that. I think Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black would be a perfect cast for the lead in this film, because if you watch Orphan Black, she can do pretty much everything. We've seen her do all different aspects. She plays different clones of herself. Some that kick ass.
For those, explain for those who don't know the show.
So if you haven't seen Orphan Black, it's one actress and she plays clone versions of herself. One's like a housewife at home who ends up being able to kick ass. One is this like kind of rugged girl who is running everything. They all are very, very, very different, and she kills every single one that she plays. And as the show continues, there are more and more clones of her that she has to play. So I think when you look back to the original movie and you look at Sigourney Weaver or how that film was done, it's a very small, tight cast. The fact that, there's a lot of it where it's facial expression or small things happening, I think she could really, really blow that away. And the fact that she is an action hero in her own right just from watching Orphan Black, you put her in this world and you believe that she could actually take out some of these aliens, which I think is a major selling point for these films. And partnering her with Neill Blomkamp, I think, would just be such a great match because he does sci-fi so well, and he does work well with one actor, and so I think she'd be a great fit.
Great. Mike, what's your choice?
My choice is Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad. Mike Ehrmantraut. He is a cleanup man. He's a fixer. He is an actor. Jonathan Banks is an actor that has been around forever. He has been in these type of roles, these tough guy roles, and he can say more just in like his like annoyed grimace than most actors can say with actual words. And you know the thing I think most people would go is, let's get the young cast in here. Let's put a bunch of young kids and have them fight alien or aliens. I don't think that's as interesting. I think it's interesting to have somebody who's been in a ship, he's cranky, and he has to deal with a bunch of aliens. And that guy is Jonathan Banks. He's amazing. He's incredibly watchable. Like, that half measure speech is amazing from Breaking Bad. All of his stuff is amazing. It's wonderful to see him back on TV. I was watching Saw last night. That's where I got this idea.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Hal?
I'd go with Emily Blunt. She proved in Edge of Tomorrow that she can be an action star. I mean, if you see her like doing those yoga moves or whatever it was, like, she's got biceps, she can kick some ass, and we're gonna need someone to take the mantle from Sigourney Weaver. Okay, I think it's great that this is going to be, he's calling this a continuation of the Alien series. It's not a reboot, but if we want to keep going with this, if we want it to remain watchable, we need someone to take the mantle. And let's not take away one of the great female protagonists of all time. Let's continue that tradition, and Emily Blunt would be amazing. And it reminds me of Sigourney Weaver protecting Newt from the Queen Alien, the way Emily Blunt protected her son in Looper. She can kick ass. She can be just a lion going against aliens.
There's also, though, we're talking, I think, a movie that Sigourney Weaver is probably going to be in. I'm not looking to replace Sigourney Weaver just yet. So if she's in this movie, I don't want like little Sigourney Weaver ready to take her spot when she dies.
Neither do I, but I want a strong female protagonist ready to take the mantle.
But this is the thing that I think when you look at Alien, and it didn't have to be a female. The character was just written as a strong lead character. So I don't think looking at this, I have to say, I want the lead to be a female. But I think that Tatiana Maslany, the fact that she's being eyed for Star Wars, we know that she is acceptable within the Space Odyssey universe. And that, to me, is really exciting. And hearing that other people are already looking at her for that kind of thing. And if it's possible for the Bounty Hunter version, I'm like, then she would be great in Alien instead of doing Star Wars, or both, whatever. But I don't think that
both
Emily
might be
Blunt,
a conflict.
for Emily Blunt, I just feel like we've already seen her do something very similar to that. And I get really excited when it's an actress that I haven't seen in that exact world already. We've already seen her kick ass in Suits and in space kind of version of things in a comic book world. So I just feel like I would like to see someone fresh and new, and Tatiana Maslany is that girl.
I would like to. This gentleman is not fresh and new, but it's a fresh and new opportunity for him. We have not seen him in a situation like this. This is usually in kind of small time mob situations and different like.
He can be in it. He's just not the lead.
I mean, we'll talk about that later, but I don't know if that's. Were you about to say something?
Well, I was just going to say I like your choice. It's a good choice, but yeah, why better than the other two choices, do you think? Just because of the old...
since it's a continuation of the other movies, and Sigourney Weaver is going to be in it, and you would think she is going to be the lead, I would want, I mean, possibly a love interest. I don't know. Like, I don't want just a bunch of young kids.
Gross.
No.
You don't find him attractive?
No love story in Alien.
How old are they? Could they be the love? Is it creepy?
Yeah, Sigourney's like 60. I think he's like
She's
60.
doing Avatar for the next like billion years.
My point is that I don't want Sigourney Weaver and the Little Aliens gang or something. I want her and people that are age appropriate and going on a mission.
Tatiana Maslany is not like 14 years old.
I didn't say she was 14. What, she get 30? She's probably like 30, right?
I don't know how old she actually is, but she could play like 30s.
Is what I'm saying.
One of the great things about Alien and Aliens is it was an adult, a full-grown woman fighting these aliens, and like I have to say, like, just we don't want the teeny bopper version.
She's not a teen.
I know she's not a teen.
Orphan Black. They're doing the premiere of season 2 on AMC. It's not a kid show.
Do you have ages for us, Dan?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Tatiana Maslany is 29 years old. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Banks is 68. Sigourney Weaver 65.
Oh,
but
so
also
they could totally date.
Real age doesn't matter. I hate talking about real age of actors because I think that's unfair to them. They can play any age.
It is, but I mean, they're in the realm. I'm just saying that looks, the two of them together, they look more similar in age than this. All I'm saying is that mine is a different, in my mind, more interesting movie. These are sort of the younger version, and we're gonna. This is the hip
Emily
version.
Blunt is younger, but tonally, she will be able to capture what we loved about the early Alien and Aliens
movies. Do we want to
movies.
capture exactly? If we're doing it, like, do we want to capture that exactly? She is like that sort of archetypal female action hero, and
we don't want to capture it exactly, but we want the texture and the tone.
I also feel like coming off of Into the Woods, people are like, oh, we don't want singing in space.
All right, I got to make a call here. Based on these arguments, I think it was tough, but I think you both said some things that Mike really hit it on the head with. It's like he doesn't want the little aliens around. You want Sigourney Weaver back. She's in charge. She's gonna be. And I think you even said it doesn't have to be a female. And this idea of like an older Mike type of character stretching his space wings, whether he's a love interest or not,
he could still be in my version.
And she could be in my version too.
But you ultimately, for the little aliens comment, trucked ahead slightly over you, and Mike gets the extra point. So Mike is now in the lead. We still have 2 more rounds. Quickly, let's try and get through because I don't want to try and kick this on time. So it's still anybody's game, and there's a speed round. So don't get discouraged yet. Round 6. Sorry, Dan. Did you have a comment?
Just to inject some tension into the proceedings?
Yes.
If Hal doesn't win the next 2 rounds, then he's out. He's out.
Mm-hmm. No pressure, Hal. With Terminator Genesis, the Jacuzzi time travel movie, all these time travel's big right now, right, guys?
We love it.
Right.
So Lucas Watuki, I'm really bad with names today. I apologize.
How do you say Neil's last name?
I'm not going to try again.
Blomkamp.
Lucas on Twitter asked a fun question: best time travel movie. Let's start with you, Mike.
All right, this is going to be weird. This is going to be a weird choice, believe it or not, for me. Star Trek First Contact. And it is a personal choice because Star Trek Next Generation is like my favorite TV show of all time. That cast, those people together just is incredibly special. I don't know why, but just them together is like a special thing. This is the best Star Trek The Next Generation movie. The rest of them are fine. But this one is good. This one has the scariest villains in it, which is the Borg, the coolest. And this movie contains awesome action, suspense, Picard actually dealing with something that happened in the show, which is like a nice thread, because generally in the movies they sort of ignore everything. He actually like shows a lot of range. He gets very rageful. Is rageful a word?
Sure.
Rageful?
I know what you mean.
You can just say angry. Yeah, whatever.
Thesaurus, Dan?
I'm looking.
Infused with rage.
Right. So traumatic, like
rageful is a word.
Enraged.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
It's like Picard with post-traumatic stress, which is something we had not seen before. It also, if you're a fan of Star Trek, it contains the like most pivotal moment in that universe's history, which is when humans first made contact with Vulcans. When Zephyrin Cochrane. Sorry, the names are really throwing all of us.
The farmer from Babe.
The farmer from Babe, who is a drunk, which is also,
James
by
Cromwell.
the way, a great choice, is to make that character not sort of some upstanding hero, but just a very flawed, interesting person, like most people in history that did some amazing things probably were.
Good. I do love it. Is the best, I think, of those movies, especially the new cast. Hal, what's your opinion?
Well, mine is also a really personal choice, and I think it's the best time travel movie of all time. It's Back to the Future. I mean, that excited me as a kid to see, like, this is possible. What an amazing, funny movie. It's a great movie. It's a great comedy, and it's like the definitive time travel movie. I mean, there's so many elements that have been, like, there's so many pieces, not just time travel wise, but in social, like, just parlance that have become like common knowledge. I'm your cousin Marvin Berry, the DeLorean, 1.21 gigawatts, Save the Clock Tower.
We all know him. We love him.
Yeah.
It's a good choice. What Tiffany, yours?
I'm going with one that I found to be one of the most clever time travel films I saw in a very long time. Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys. I think that this movie, the fact that, you know, you got to see Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt, and there is such a great mix of all different genres in this movie. You see little nods to Monty Python's humor in this film. There's suspense. There's this feeling of, am I crazy? Is he really traveling back in time? So the premise of this one, post-apocalyptic time, Bruce Willis has to get sent back in time to help save the world from a virus. The people that are sending him back are like pretty terrifying doctors. They're just really scary the whole time, which makes you feel like he is actually crazy. The base that I think they go to where they talk about the Cassandra effect, where they're aware of the time travel effect in the movie, and I really enjoy that. When he goes back in time, Cassandra effect is someone going back in time and telling people, and then everyone assumes he's crazy, so he ends up in a mental institution. And then you have the dynamic between Bruce Willis and Madeline Stowe. They never go so hard into the love story, which I really enjoy. When you're doing a film like this, it's very dark, it's gritty. And having that character for him to go against, I enjoyed that dynamic and not having it be like, when are they going to make out? And the twist. There's the twist at the end where it's you're following Brad Pitt's character the whole time. You're following the 12 monkeys.
Spoiler alert.
Yep, sorry guys. I'm just spoiling them all today. But you have that twist that you think it's him, that's who they're going after, and then at the last second, it's not who they're going after. And when you go to do time travel movies, I think that at the end, people always try and tie it up with a neat bow, and the end of this one does not end that way. And that, for me, is what sold me.
These are all good choices. I'm going to help you out here, Hal, so just hold on. Why is your film better than Back to the Future?
Well,
let me tell
you guys. Because it honestly was a film that resonated more with me because of my it's all personal for Michael today, okay? It's a film that stuck with me. I've seen it 50 times, maybe not 50, probably 40 times.
How many times have you seen Back to the Future?
25.
Tiffany, 12 Monkeys over Back to the Future.
I think that Back to the Future is the obvious choice. And for me, I feel like that kind of takes it out of the running for the best one. I mean, I think that when you look at 12 Monkeys, it's a unique take. It's very clever. It's different. I like mixing the horror kind of suspense genre in with time travel. The fact that there are different genres, and there is a little bit of comedy within this movie. That one's straight up comedy love story.
How would you like to say anything, or would you like me to make a ruling?
He's basically telling you don't put your foot in your mouth.
Back to the Future is the best time travel movie.
I agree! I think she even admitted it was because she said it was the obvious choice. And we can't base an argument on what your favorite movie is, Mike, so...
12 Monkeys
that wasn't
close,
very exciting.
Guys.
Back to the Future wins. Hal, you're on the board.
Oh, boy.
Wow, one more, and we go to a tiebreaker.
What is it, 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, so if Mike wins this... Mike wins this last round, then Tiffany's in against him in the bonus. If Hal wins it, then we had to do tiebreaker, so we're going to go through this quick. And this is a fun one. Very random. It's usually a teaser honest trailer this week, but we don't have an honest trailer next week, to be honest, because we're going to have a live Oscar show. So we're not live, but we're...
I was supposed to say, we are? Oh, my God.
We are doing a show right after the Oscars, a Screen Junkies show on Sunday night. We'll be watching. We'll probably be live tweeting, so follow us on Screen Junkies. Hal, you coming?
Hell yeah.
Dan, you'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are invited, too.
Come on down.
Spencer will be there. Nick Mundy will be tweeting. We'll be watching. And then after the Screen Oscars, Screen Junkies will be doing the Grouchies. It'll be right in the morning, Monday morning. And then we have something special for you in the week, but we just needed a week off from Honest Trailer. So we're going with something random. That's backstory. I forgot we didn't tell you that. Thiago May on Twitter asked, what's the best movie world to be trapped in for a month? So any movie world, pick one that you're in it for a month. He did give us a time constraint. Which movie would you want to live in? Hal?
I want a movie world that's going to delight and surprise me. I don't want a movie.
Facial expression.
I do not want a movie world where I'm probably going to get killed or going to be like fighting for my life and might die because it's going to be me.
And your choice is
spending a month there. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Man,
you could get dropped in an acid tank.
Yeah,
but they don't die, do they?
Well, Christopher Lloyd dies.
Well, the humans die.
The cartoons get dipped, so they're gone. So, Hal, are you talking about Toontown or just the world of Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
The world of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah. Man, I want to be able to ride on a boat with legs. That's a cartoon. Talk about giving me childlike
fantasy. Of all the things you could do, a boat with legs?
Imagine you're
That's your go-to.
You're in the water, and then it starts running onto the land.
It's kind of like a car boat.
Yeah. No, a leg boat.
Okay, fair enough.
A leg boat. Anything you could imagine, it would be so delightful, so whimsical. Plus, man, you get to dress like an OG in like a zoot suit and not look like an idiot hipster. Damn, that's cool.
Tiffany.
Old Hollywood.
What's your choice?
Okay,
Tiffany?
so if I'm going somewhere for a month, I want to have a little bit of everything. So I choose Middle Earth post the Second Middle Earth War. Okay, so everything is nice.
wait,
the
when is
first
that?
stop, the end of Return of the King.
Okay.
Okay, so
Rest in peace.
Listen, no. So first, I'm gonna go to the Shire because I like going and hanging out with people that I know. We got to have Sam on Schmoes to talk to him, so I'm gonna go to the Shire, hang out with him and his family, eat some food, have a little dance party with them. Then I'm gonna go to Rohan and ride on some horses, maybe meet Shadowfax. Then I'm gonna go to Rivendell, and guess how I'm gonna get to Rivendell? I'm gonna ride on a giant freaking eagle. Okay, I'm gonna hang out in Rivendell, learn how to like.
Will they be saving you from something?
No, they don't have to save me. I can just travel that way. Then I'm gonna tame the water horses because I already rode on real horses in in Rohan. Then I'm gonna go to Lothlorien and just hang out in that massive cool tree. Then I'm gonna take an Ent and travel some more in the forest and just see all the cool stuff that's going on in there. Then I'm gonna fly on a giant moth because that's cool. It's like skydiving / the wing flying, but on a moth. Then I'm gonna hang out on the Undying Shores with Gandalf and smoke some pipe weed.
Just make sure you have your affairs in order when you go on this journey, because it's the most dangerous, awful thing I ever heard.
No, it's not.
It's basically
Yeah.
New Zealand,
the danger
right?
is gone.
New Zealand,
The
yes, I was
danger
gonna
is
say,
gone.
it's New Zealand, yes. You're hanging out in New Zealand with Ian McKellen, which is cool, but my choice is much cooler, all right? Divorce yourself from the quality of this movie. I'm talking about Pandora from Avatar, all right? We're not talking about the unobtainium. We're not even talking about any of the characters. Picture this. We are on the lush jungle moon of Pandora. You are.
Do I have to plug my tail into things?
Yes, you do. Hold on 1 second. I'm talking very low to set a mood, okay?
Wish we had some mood music.
We are 10-foot tall Na'vi warriors. We can run super fast. We are super strong, and just your body, you would feel so much power and strength in this crazy blue body. Okay.
So wait, are we humans living as Na'vi, or we're Na'vi?
The
Na'vi,
question was
Na'vi.
you in a world.
Yeah.
Well,
But are you Jake Sully's doing it, or are you actually a Na'vi?
in this universe? You could, if it's for,
Clearly, you've not actually thought this.
No,
through.
I have, because if it's in the universe, you could just be doing the Jake Sully thing. That would actually make a lot of continuity sense for how you're spending a month there. So you're just Jake Sully. The way you've transported for a month is that this is your avatar, which you get to experience it just like everything else. All right, hold on.
A lot of rules in yours.
Hold on. This is the most beautiful place imaginable. It's so beautiful. Disney World.
No, Lothlorien, Rivendell, more beautiful.
There are no flying mountains there in New Zealand. There are flying mountains on Pandora.
Not in New Zealand.
Disney World is making a theme park out of this. This is how cool this landscape is. You get to mate with a Na'vi, okay? You take your braid.
I'll see your Na'vi and
Hold
raise
on.
you Jessica Rabbit.
Let me hold on 1 second. Let me read.
Wait, you get
from,
to do you
get to mate with
how do you?
Jessica Rabbit?
She has a choice, doesn't she?
Oh,
You get to.
I mean, she's.
Oh God, guys!
Can I have
this is
someone
going off
drawn
the
for me?
rails.
Hold on,
Not okay.
I just want to explain. This is from the wiki, okay? You take your braid and you join it with your partner's braid, and it causes. This is a direct quote. Pleasure unfathomable to humans.
So, but you're human. You're not Na'vi, so you can't do that.
Who wrote that? Where's
I
that?
don't know
Is that
who wrote
officially
it.
from a?
Is that
I
your own
didn't write it.
slash
I think it's
fiction?
the people that wrote that
Fan
Spider-Man
fiction. It's from
19
fan
fan
It's from the Avatar wiki. I am saying, then you get to ride on one of those banshees around the skies. You plug your braid in, and you get to ride around. There's no braid in your version of
I don't
riding
need a
on an
braid.
eagle.
All right.
Here's the thing.
question
My
was
trip-
you for a month.
Yeah.
You both pick places where it's very easy to die.
Not
I picked the
true.
most beautiful fantasy
No.
land.
If you're a human, it is easy to die.
Yeah.
Because Christopher Lloyd died.
You're not gonna die in Middle Earth anymore. Everything's
was a
chill.
cartoon.
You can do. He was.
Okay, you're right. He was a tune. But he's a person.
Wait. No, he's not.
Yeah, he's a tune at the end.
Well,
Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Tune, yeah.
Here's the
Spoiler.
thing. I'm not going to get involved in any dangerous situations. I'm going to enjoy this childlike vision. Imagine being a kid and thinking, man, if I could play in Cartoon World, and now this is the best join up of it, and you get to be in 1940s.
So, Dan, I think you have some thoughts, but my big question is, do the humans die in Toontown? Because Christopher Lloyd is a toon. Toons don't
Right.
die. He gets hit by safes and everything, and it doesn't happen.
By the Roger Rabbit rules, it would appear that the only way a cartoon can die is via dip.
Yeah.
But what about the humans?
The humans
In Toontown live to cartoon standards, right?
I think it's still possible, but it seems like it's a little
They're shaking their heads
exaggerated.
in the booth too. We're fact checker. Make sure this is correct.
Right.
What were you going to say aside from that?
Well, again, this is just, I'm not trying to poke holes, but I'm here to provide
Yes,
facts.
please, I need
which
help.
is, it's a month. And the Shire, if you want to go from, there are
month.
cartographers that I'm sure know
Eagles
this, but just
fly real fast.
just looking at this from the Shire to Rohan, that's like, it looks like 800 miles.
I get it.
It's a lot of distance. It's a lot of distance
I can
to cover
travel
in
by
one.
Anything else?
Eagle
In one. Let me
and-
look up cartoon Toontown question.
Just the roles of
The
death.
beautiful colors of Pandora, the lush plant
Have you
life.
ever been
one
to the Redwood Forest?
Let's do one classical
not as
closing. to
nice.
wrap- You each get a quick closing. Why is yours better than the others? Go ahead, Mike. Yours.
It's like the ultimate outdoor trip. We've never seen a place like
Versus
this.
why not these two?
Because this is just like a flat land. There's some monsters and stuff, but other than that, you're just sort of hanging out in huts. Like, there's nothing special about this. There's nothing that unique to the actual land.
Tiffany? Oh, sorry.
This is just dangerous.
Tiffany?
Both of these are only one landscape. If you are in Middle Earth, there's adventure. You can hang out on a beach. You can do adrenaline junkie things. You can meet cool people that you've read about. You can hang out with Gandalf.
Why not better than those two?
Because that's only one place. If I'm somewhere for a month, I want to do all sorts of cool
If there's
things.
adventure, you can jump on the back of a Torek Mach 2 and try to cut your braid and tame it.
Only one thing, you could see limitless cartoons. It's your greatest childhood dreams come to life. These are both very
I can go
dangerous.
to Disneyland and hang out in Toontown.
The question is 1 month, and then you're returning after. You may never return from those perilous journeys.
Dan.
So this may have some bearing. This is from the official Toontown Wikipedia entry. Humans are not entirely bound to the laws of physics in Toontown. They might, for example, fall from a great height in cartoon fashion, and if given the right conditions, survive. Yes. However, humans can still be killed in Toontown and should take precaution, as certain antics that may seem harmless or comical to a toon could be lethal to a human.
Can we please
Will
make
do.
like a
I've
medical
said
Sounds so much
disclaimer?
more fun. Hal wins!
Oh, I love this job.
I don't know how that happened.
So Hal got the last
Middle
two.
Earth?
So Tiffany and Hal need to...
Tiffany and
Tiebreaker.
Hal, you're doing your tiebreaker. Okay. Again, I think Hal, the point is like we've seen these places. This is something once in a lifetime. And less,
Middle Earth is
it
once in a
safer.
lifetime, guys.
I just want to say they're going to bulldoze Toontown and make Star Wars land.
Because there weren't real cartoons there, right? I bet
it's
you if there
not that
were, we would
cool.
show up to Toontown.
It's a big
All right,
bulldoze
we have to do a
home tree.
tiebreaker question here.
Oh, crap.
So I'm going to use my first question here. So Hal and Tiffany, tiebreaker round, and the winner of this question takes Mike to the finals. Speed music or
Oh, God.
Who will be
scary
my
music.
Wait, do I just yell out answers?
Yes, sorry. So
Okay.
to be clear, I'm gonna say a question. First answer pops in your head. Say it.
Okay.
If you both say the same answer at the same time, whoever said it first gets the point.
Okay.
If you take your time and say a different answer, you both of them will defend.
My heart's beating kind of
your thing.
fast. I'm
Does
just
everyone
saying
understand the rules? Yes.
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 Okay. Which of these two movie sequels do we want to see with its original cast? Hypothetical here. The Mask 2 or Wayne's World 3?
The Mask 2.
The Mask 2.
Oh, Tiffany gets it.
Oh.
Tiffany goes to the end.
Whoever said-
Yeah.
Oh, we don't argue the point?
No.
Well, you both said The Mask. I just said if you both say the same answer.
Oh, Wayne's World 3. Wayne's World 3.
I said
Wayne's
two.
World 3.
I said it very clearly.
Hal, you played speed rounds
You've
before.
done this before. Sorry, Hal. Tiffany goes to the end. You were so close.
Wait, I didn't even. I'm
good
sorry.
lesson
I
to
didn't
learn.
even, listen, I didn't even get that rule.
Dan, I mean, come on. That was clear.
Both defended it.
You got the same answer.
Hal, you
And the better
Hal, if this
argument.
was your first movie fight,
I might have given
would
it
give
to
you
you.
this.
You have
yeah.
played speed round before. Anyway. So, Hal's out.
So
That was
does that
close.
point carry over, or is that just a tiebreaker?
We shouldn't
point?
use that point. I think we've
so
done
it's
it past, but to be fair,
it's 3-2.
yes,
Mike.
because Mike didn't get a chance to get a point, so let's give it to. So no
Wait,
point.
so now I have
So
more
it's 3-2.
speed
Now we're going to the speed round. 5 questions. That was a tough one, Hal, but now you've learned a valuable lesson.
Can
for
you
future
explain
games.
the rules very clearly?
Okay. Ready. You guys understand how it works now.
Okay, yeah,
if you say the same answer, whoever says it first wins, which I said.
Okay.
I'm saying it again. So if you say the same answer, otherwise, if you hear someone say it, you probably want to take the other question and try and defend it.
So the only way to win, if we want to say the same, we have to say different things to argue. The only way to get to argue your point is if we say two different ones.
Correct.
Okay.
Or to say it first, and then you follow?
Yes.
Great. Scary music.
Strategy.
Both of these movies are playing on cable. What should we watch? Demolition Man or Cliffhanger?
Cliffhanger.
Demolition Man.
Why Cliffhanger?
Cliffhanger because it's Sylvester Stallone and I just like it more because it's exciting.
Why Demolition Man?
I think that Demolition Man is one of those movies that you can watch over and over again. The action never gets old. I think to his point, he says his movie's exciting. So is mine.
Give me a little bit longer answer. Tiffany gets it. You just went so quick. You gotta give me a little bit more.
All right, I'll give more.
So
next
she's
time.
on the board. Now we're tied. It's 3-3.
Yep.
Many, many years from now, which of these films do you think will have the best shot at being rebooted? Whether you want to or not, which one, many, many years from now, do you think should be rebooted? Or will be rebooted first, sorry, is the question. Forrest Gump or The Shawshank Redemption?
Forrest Gump.
Shawshank Redemption.
Why Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump because like it's almost like an iconic character that you could see like being played over and over again. It's got that like those very specific things that make characters like, I'm not saying it's Hamlet, but it is saying like it could be like Batman. It's like we're gonna see a bunch of different actors' interpretation of it.
So not doing the same story, you're saying it's a continuation.
It could be a similar story, but it would be either a continuation or just, a different version of Forrest Gump.
Why Shawshank Redemption?
I think with Shawshank Redemption, it's one of those stories that different generations should hear again. So if you were to recast it and do it again, I think that it would just enlighten a new audience. I think with that one, I'm like, I don't even really enjoy that movie the first time. I don't want to see it again.
I think you sort of cheated and you're taking it in a sequel way, where it was a reboot. So I think Tiffany gets the point again. Wow.
I don't think I was taking it in a sequel.
You said it's going to be different beats. All right. These got to be quick, so I'm judging quick too.
Okay.
No, it's for me as well. Wow, we're running a timer. Matthew Mayen asks, best movie with the word 3 in the title?
Toy Story 3.
Oh, crap.
5 seconds.
Three Musketeers.
Ooh, why Toy Story 3?
Because it's amazing. It's like my favorite of all the Toy Story movies. It's got like the heaviest, like most serious things like they're dealing with. They talk about, it's just about death. It's about moving on.
Why Three Musketeers?
Three Musketeers. I love period films. I like to see swashbuckling. I think that there's always a cool dynamic when you get
Toy Story 3. Sorry.
It's okay.
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I hesitated for so.
Better Pixar movie. Speaking of which.
Come on.
Cars 2 or Monsters University?
Monsters University.
Cars 2.
Why Monsters University?
Monsters University, I think that is one of those movies that old and young can watch it. There's something relatable to both sides. So if you're watching it with a kid or a little brother or sister, you can enjoy it. I think that there is humor and heart.
I'm going to go just more interesting. Both movies are flawed, but Monsters University is just sort of flat for me. Cars 2 takes the second movie in just such a strange, interesting direction. I'm not saying it's great, but Michael Caine is in it. It turns into a weird spy movie. That movie I will watch more than Monsters University just because of how odd and interesting it is.
Everybody knows Cars 2 sucked. Monsters University wins.
So do I win?
So basically, Mike, if you win this point, you're tied. You have to go to a super double breaker. Tiffany, if you win this point,
thank God I have one.
If you win this point, you win the game.
All right.
Oh God. Oh gosh.
So exciting.
Oh gosh.
Sophie Sleep asks. Oh wait, sorry, I'm changing this. Sophie Sleep asks. No, I'm sorry. I read the wrong one. Sorry. Gustavo Rojos.
Thank you.
Gustavo Rojos asks. These two movies are playing on cable. Pick one. 50 Shades of Grey or Jupiter Ascending?
Jupiter Ascending.
Oh.
Why?
Because 50 Shades of Grey is not unwatchable. It is just bad, and it's bad in the same way that Geely is bad. Like, you want to just see, wow, like, there's these lines and these characters you're going to be making fun of for years. Jupiter Ascending is just a big mess. It's like a big muddy mess, and that one is going to stand like Geely or something like The Room over the test of time. That's what I think.
50 Shades will.
50 Shades, yeah, excuse me.
I think that Jupiter Ascending is an incredibly fun movie. If you go in expecting a teen kind of sci-fi action story, that's what you get. There are dragon soldiers. That's awesome. Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum are very likable. I know people are like, it's not what I expected. I think that's the one major downfall of this movie. But if you go in expecting you're just going to get an enjoyable ride, that's what you get in that movie.
Tough. I think both movies suck, to be fair. And you sort of tried to say your movie was good, right. So Mike Carlson wins. Wow. Okay, this is it.
No!
This is it.
I actually really like
this. This is test.
I will.
This is test. This is intense.
Oh God.
Ready? Last one.
Is it the same way we're doing it?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. You got to be first. Quick. We got to do this. Ready? Last one. Who is the best Hollywood Michael?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Caine.
Why Michael? Who'd you pick?
Keaton.
Keaton. That's right. Why Keaton?
First of all, he is Batman. And with Birdman coming out this year, I think everyone has their eye on him. He's such an incredible actor. He has stood the test of time. I love the quote that he said. Someone asked him about if he's jealous about all the hype around Batman right now, and he said, no, I'm not, because I'm Batman.
Where has Michael Keaton been, though? Michael Keaton had a couple of iconic films and then sort of has had this long stretch in the desert. Michael Caine has been consistently in great films his entire career. I love Michael Keaton, but Michael Caine is better because he's been high profile and done really great movies his entire career. It's a more consistent outfit.
He's Alfred. Batman wins.
Yes, Hal?
Michael Keaton is Batman. Michael Caine is Batman's bitch.
That's what I just said. He's
not
Alfred.
factoring that into my decision.
Batman. He raised Batman.
I said he's Alfred.
Batman wouldn't have been anybody if it weren't for Michael Caine, so you could turn it around, baby.
I gotta base it off the argument. This is really, really hard. I can't call you both winners. The only thing I have between the two of what you said, because you each got one quick sentence, Keaton has been not around us. Where'd he go? He took a break, whereas Caine did continue. Whether I agree or not, that was a really good point. Mike wins!
Thank you.
Wow. That was so close, but I got it. I'm grasping at straws. I apologize to Tiffany because you did fantastically.
Totally got robbed in the middle.
But Tiffany, you did fantastically.
Yes.
Hal, fantastic. Now, you were close if you'd messed that thing up.
Yeah.
But we do know you know better. All right. Thank you guys so much. Mike Carlson is going on to Monday Mania. That means in 2 weeks we will see you tackle the man himself.
Godspeed.
I'm coming for you.
This is intense.
Nick Mundy.
This is intense. We're out of time, so thanks so much for watching. Obviously, tell us in the comments below what kind of fights you want to see, or tell us on Twitter, #MovieFights. What other fights you want to see? Tell us, please. And also, we're on iTunes. Go subscribe to us there and follow us, please. The Schmoes Know Network. Check them out, and the Popcorn Talk Network. So many great shows. The links are in the description below. YouTube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. Also, check out youtube.com/schmoesknow because they work together and we love them all.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're listening on iTunes, please go watch us sometimes on YouTube because it's fun. YouTube.com/Screen Junkies. I want to thank our panelists, Hal Rudnick, so close.
I'm just proud that today I didn't say iconic or at the height of his powers.
Were you trying?
At Hal Rudnick.
You did say, there were a few you did say. I
held back.
At Hal Rudnick, please follow him. Tiffany Smith, Tiffany Tweets. Tiffany's Tweets.
Tiffany Smith. Yes, you guys can find me at Tiffany's Tweets or DC All Access, Schmoes Know. This Sunday, I'll be covering the Oscars for Pop Sugar, so check me out there. Thank you guys for having me. I was really nervous, but I think I held my own.
You did. You're coming back.
I also think I might have been robbed a little bit.
It happens. Mike Carlson, at Fat PHAT Carlson.
That's correct.
Anything you'd like to plug, sir?
Botanicus. Watch the commercials I'm in.
Living the life, man.
Don't fast forward.
You're gonna come back, so I'm excited.
I'll be back.
On the Dan Cam, as always, it's the Dan the Madman Merle. God,
Hi.
I'm just on a whim today.
Yeah.
Fantastic work on the Dan Cam. Follow him at Merle Dan. Anything you'd like to say, Dan?
#Blomkamp.
That hashtag will change every time.
I really like him too. Chappie looks good. I apologize. I do know who he is. And follow me at Andy Signore on Twitter, Instagram. Please #MovieFights. Tell us what you want to see. And thanks for coming back. See you next week. Woo!
Bye-bye.
Every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Or if you prefer to listen on iTunes, click the logo to download an audio version. Lastly, please support our friends at the Popcorn Talk Network for more awesome shows.